Almost 1 out of every 3 children in the world today under the age of 5 is severely malnourished. Can you believe that? I mean, that's a bunch, all right? So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about growth and development. How do we tell if a child is malnourished? How do we tell if a child is in trouble? And some of the things that we may be able to do to help that child. So my name is Jim Reynolds. I'm with Ultimate Mission, and our organization trains medical missionaries all over the world to reach out into their communities, try to reach children, pregnant mothers, and all kinds of different people to help them with their health as a way to be the hands and feet of Jesus. And so these videos are part of that. If you ever wanted to be a medical missionary in your community, I hope you could watch this video and learn something from it. And for the medical missionaries that are working or part of Ultimate Mission, thank you for watching and being part of this training. So today I've got Lynette Holmes with me. Lynette is a registered nurse. She lived in Africa for 7 years, and she's run clinics, and she's trained nurses or trained other women or people in nutrition and health. And so Lynette is going to work with us today on growth and development. So why is it so important to understand how a child grows?
Well, there's many facets to growth, and the one that we are really concentrating on has to do with how tall a child is at a certain age and what their weight is. But we want the children to also grow in their ability to crawl and to walk and to speak and to interact with other people. So there's many facets to growth that are important. But today we're kind of talking a little bit about malnutrition and what happens to a child. And we've mentioned before that a child will start to, their brain will not develop as it should, and they will be slow. That not only will they have a stunted growth if they have malnutrition, but also their mental development will be stunted as well.
Gives them a really tough time starting out in life.
And so if you can catch this early on, then there's still time to do something about it. So that's why we're interested in this.
Right. And at a certain point in life, they're done. I mean, that stunting is lasting forever. So the earlier you can catch this, the better. So when should we start monitoring growth?
We should start at birth. In fact, as soon as a baby's born, now you can't really measure a baby very well standing up.
Right.
So you would lay them on a table. You'd put their head even with the edge of the table, and then you would go down as far as try and straighten out their legs. It's really hard. I've done this a lot of times. And then you'd make a mark there, and then you would measure that and see how many centimeters, how many inches that is. And then you would do that every week for the first month, and you would see if that child is growing.
Okay, so how often would we weigh children then? Would that be at the same when you measure them?
Yeah, when you measure them, then you should also weigh them. And that can be something that you can keep a record of. Maybe the mother has a book that you can write it down in. It might be that you would have a way to write that down. But it's much easier if the mother keeps the record, because then you know you've got it in the right place and it's the right child, even if the same name or something like that.
Yeah. So from 0 to 5 really is what we look at for infant mortality rates and child growth. It's really crucial from 0 to 5. And so as the children grow, how often should we weigh children as a whole? And when do we know if a child is at risk?
Okay, we're going to start out, we're going to weigh them and measure them. The weight is really the most important. The measurement isn't going to be quite as critical, because in 1 month's time the baby isn't going, it's going to grow though. It's going to grow. And in fact, while I'm thinking of it, I'm just going to say, if you take the height or the length of a child at 2 years and double it, that's probably what they're going to be for their life. So that's kind of an interesting thing. But we should do it weekly up to 1 month, and then we're going to move up to every month, and from 1 year to 3 years, and then we're going to do it every 3 months once they reach 3 years of age up to 5.
Okay.
And then after that, it's good to do it maybe once a year or something like that, but it's not as critical as it is when they're really young.
What if you find a child that's malnourished? How often should that child be weighed while you're working with the child to try to get it to grow, to try to give it a good nutrition and a balanced diet?
Then you would want to do it every time that you were coming to that feeding center, if it's a feeding center, but usually you would do it every month. Every month would be really good to keep track of that child.
Okay.
And I'm going to just show you a couple of charts that I have here. This chart is a handy one to use. It has the minimum and the maximum of the weight for a certain age. And then it also has the minimum and maximum and then the mid-range for a height and weight for a child. And here's the different ages. So let's say we have a 4-year-old here. The weight would be about 16 kilos and the height would be about 103 centimeters.
So depending on a girl or a boy,
yeah,
you have
I have
one for
another
girl, one
chart.
for boys?
I have another chart for boys and girls, and we can put that up on the screen. And then here's another chart that you can use to plot the height and weight of a child. And we'll also put that one up on the screen for you. But you want them to be somewhat near the center, and you always want their weight each month that you plot it. You want it to be going in an upward fashion. You don't want it to ever start dropping and going down. That's a really critical situation, and they would need to for sure be getting, so you may want to even take them to the doctor because it's possible that they have some type of deficiency disease where they're not absorbing nutrients.
Yeah. Well, anytime you find a child that is malnourished, that is underweight, you should recommend that that child see the doctor.
Yes.
Anytime. So yeah, no matter where you're at in the world, there's always some sort of health organization close to you that you can connect with, that you can, because there's a lot of organizations in India and the Philippines, or India and Africa, as far as Ethiopia. I'm not sure about the Philippines, but those two, and I'm sure the Philippines has something also. Almost every government has an organization that you can connect with to help to connect the mothers and the children so that they can get the food they need.
Yes, that's really true. But then if after that type of help, that they are getting the special nutrients and they're not gaining weight, they really need to see a doctor and find out what's going wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. And so now, what would be one way that you can weigh a baby? Because it's hard. You can't stand the baby on a set of scales.
That's right, you can't. I have used some scales where you put them in a little sling and you hang it from a tree. But we're going to be using bathroom scales, and there's an easy way to do that. What you do is you have the mother hold the baby, and you weigh the mother and the baby. And let's say it's 55 kilos, okay? And then you have somebody else hold the baby, and the mother will weigh her by herself, and let's say she's 50 kilos. Then you subtract, and you will have a 5-kilo child.
So yeah, and that's an easy way to tell. Okay.
Yeah, that's an easy way to do it. And I'm going to just show real quick how to get somebody's height too.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, what are some of the other ways to measure? So you want me to stand over here, and we're going to see how tall I am.
Yeah. So first of all, you will put up a measuring tape. The bottom of it needs to be level with the ground, and then the top of it goes up. And then you have to have something that you can use as a flat surface that you put on their head, and then the person can actually walk away. And then here it is, and you'll make a mark there, and you will see how many centimeters, how many inches that is. And that will really help you to get the height so that you can use some of these charts. You can compare the height, the weight, and the age is the best way to do it.
Very good.
But there is one other measurement.
What? Okay.
And that is the arm circumference.
Okay.
And you can find out if a child has malnutrition just by measuring their arm circumference. You know, we have muscles in here. We have our biceps, and there's a little layer of fat over our but the arm circumference is really a good indicator of malnutrition. So
Okay.
that's another way that we can do it. We can find out if a child's malnourished.
Very good. And you can go and go to Google or Bing or whatever your favorite search engine is, and you can find growth charts for children in different countries, as a matter of fact. World Health Organization has a whole list of growth charts. So these are easily available to anybody that is going out into the mission fields, or if your mission field is at home and you're a medical missionary wherever you're at, you can find these growth charts. And it's a very important thing to do, because these children, if we don't catch this in time, are going to grow up with a really hard start to life. I mean, life is tough enough without having mental abilities that are not quite as much as they could be, and your height and weight and all that kind of stuff. It just really causes a lot of harm and damage. So let's see what we can do to keep these children healthy.
Yes, definitely. And sometimes you might have a child who's on the low end of the scale. Okay, so I'm going to just show you this chart again. The middle is the median. That is the one that you want to be near that, but you don't have to be. Say your parents are really tall. Then you might be up there at the top of this scale. But then you shouldn't be at the bottom of the weight scale. You should be pretty much, if you're going to be top of the height one, you should also be near the top on the weight one as well. And then sometimes you have short parents, and you are going to be shorter. So you can't just say every child needs to fit a certain mold. Everybody is different. And so there's a lot of variations in the height and weight of children and also adults, as you can see.
As you can see.
Yep.
Lynette and I are just a little bit different here.
Yeah, and I happen to be on the short side. And then, as we discussed before, girls are going to be a little bit shorter than boys. Not always.
Not always.
And there's a time, especially with twins, say there's a boy and a girl, often the girl grows first, and she will be taller than he is, and then he'll shoot up, and he will be taller probably at the end.
So tell me, there's all these things with children. It's important to weigh them, but really the importance start before they're even born. So why is it important for the mother to weigh herself when she's pregnant with the baby?
Okay, this is a very important time because the child is developing, as we said, and some of the nutrients that the mother, if she's missing nutrients as she is eating during this time, can affect the child for the rest of their life. So you need to take care of pregnant women. You need to make sure that they're getting food, make sure that they're getting healthy food. They should probably be the first ones to eat, and make sure that they get exactly what they need. They also need a lot of water too, because the baby inside the mother is in a bag of amniotic fluid, we call it, the fluid that's around the baby. And you want to make sure that that fluid is there. So the mother, at first she's going to gain weight very slowly, and then she's going to start gaining weight faster, and then at the end she gains a lot of weight. And there are charts that you can find. Do you think they could find some charts for that as well?
Yes, there's all kinds of charts that you can search for online. Just Google, like I say, Google, Bing, or whatever your favorite search engine is, and you can find these charts for how much a mother should gain weight, because you don't want to gain too much, too.
No, and at first, you have to remember, it's slow at first and then faster.
And I want to talk to the men out there, because here's the thing. When the women are pregnant with our children, these are our children, these are our sons, these are our daughters. And we want to make very, very sure that our wives are taken care of, that they're getting the best of the food, that they're getting the best of the nutrition. Even if we had to miss a meal, and I know there's some places in some countries where you don't get to eat as much as you would like, but if you don't get to eat, then you don't get to eat. But your wife needs to eat, especially when she's pregnant, because she is carrying your child.
And when she's breastfeeding, she also has to have a really good diet, because that's the child's nutrition.
So we should be taking care of our wives. This should be a very top on our mind. But when she is pregnant and when she is breastfeeding, we're not only taking care of our wives, we're taking care of our children. So it is very, very important that a woman is treated like a queen, especially during this period of time.
Yes, very important, because the children are our heritage.
Yes.
And
yeah.
it's really important.
These are the children that are going to take care of you when you get older. These are the children that are going to help you with your farms. These are the children, if they have stunted growth and stunted minds, are not going to be able to do what you need them to do. So I'm just speaking to the men out there and to the ladies that are part of our program. If there's some way that you can encourage men to understand this, and I don't know if you have to show them this video or what you need to do,
Yep.
but yes, I just can't press this enough. If a woman is pregnant and nursing with child, you really have to treat her special.
I think it's really important if we are in a village and we're doing a height and weight program, that we see if we can get a nutrition program going as well. If the area happens to be an area where there's famine or starvation, that we check with government agencies and see if we can become part of a feeding program and help these children in their first 5 years of life. It is so important.
Yeah.
You know, we said that at 2 years, that if you double that height, that is what they're going to be for life. And you know, it's really inconvenient if you're really short. Now, I'm short, so I can say, you know, it's kind of hard to reach things. And usually it doesn't mean that it was just your height. It usually means it's also your mental capacity. And so it's really important.
Not for Lynette, though. No. Some people just are, I mean, that is just,
it's hereditary,
It's hereditary. Yeah, it's hereditary,
too. There's so many
too.
things that play into it.
Right, but yes. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope that as you go out and work to what you can do in your communities, whether you're in the Philippines or Africa or India, you know, which our workers are in, or whether you're at home in the United States or in Europe or wherever you may be, going out and taking care of children, making sure children and pregnant mothers are taken care of, it's a great responsibility, and it's a great way to let people see Jesus Christ in you. Because God loves the little children, right?
He does. In fact, we have a picture. I don't know if you can see it here. It's behind me, so I'm going to just step to the side a little bit, of Jesus and the children. He said, "Let them come unto me and forbid them not," because the children were very important to Jesus. They're very important to us. And where would we be without our children?
Yeah. And Jesus told the disciples that the children have their angels have special access to the Father. Their angels get to go in front of the line to talk to God the Father if these children are being abused.
Wonderful.
Take care of the children. Let's take care of the children. All right, thank you very much. If you want to see more videos like this, we've got several videos that we've done on health and medical missionary work. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button below, hit the bell so you can be notified at our next video, and share these videos. And thank you very much. God bless. Have a wonderful day. We would love for you to be a part of our Ultimate Mission family. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, like and share our videos, donate if you would like. Let's work together to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ to the world.